This is us.
We are sisters.
These are our parents.
Our dad was a fisherman.
This is us when we were little, waiting for our dad to return from Alaska, where he went to fish for salmon every summer.
When we got a little bit older, he took us with him, and for years we would make the trip up north together and work as a family to catch the salmon that sustained our livelihood.
With fishing, there's a lot of time spent waiting and working and waiting for the fish to arrive.
And they do. And there's nothing quite like being in the middle of a strong, healthy salmon run.
A little while ago, we lost our father to an illness that rapidly deteriorated his body and his memories.
But we remember the gifts our dad gave us by bringing us with him and teaching us to fish.
And one of the most precious of those gifts is a lifetime connection to wild salmon.
But these salmon, and the rivers they rely on, are being endangered by a new rush of gold and copper mining across the border in Canada.
You with the ultimate Verizon T-Mobile.
As commodity prices boom around the world, Canada's mining industry is booming too. It's all
Canada is far and away the biggest mining country in the world.
Because gold is so valuable, the extraction of just a few thousand ounces a day pays for this extraordinary mining operation.
It's been described as the worst environmental disaster on Canada's west coast in living memory. 10 million cubic meters of mining wastewater have been hemorrhaging into the caribou ecosystem for 9 days.
The impact on our communities was like a death. It was just this huge death. There's a reason it was contained and kept out of the environment, because of how dangerous it is, and the amounts of chemicals that were in there, and heavy metals, and all of these things that were now just loose to go into the river. The salmon were on their way up.
My granddaughters and my grandson are never going to know the joy of fishing on the Fraser River. It's a very important part of our culture, and Mount Polly devastated it.
What they've done to this community is torn the social fabric apart, and they've also torn the landscape apart. And they don't seem to be very apologetic for either.
Despite the tragedy of the Mount Polly mine disaster, which spewed many millions of cubic meters of toxic water and slurry into local waterways, the BC government remains committed to promoting the mining industry.
New mining projects in British Columbia, Canada, are moving forward despite the fact that there is a risk that the mines could contaminate waterways both in British Columbia and Alaska.
The northern region of BC, which shares a border with southeast Alaska, is becoming one of the largest gold and copper mining districts in the world.
We used to go and drink water anywhere, and once this come in, maybe can't do that anymore. Won't be able to have our clean water. It's just like they take everything away from us, not only us, our grandkids.
It's already heartbreaking. We can't even take our kids fishing for trout in our lakes anymore because we don't trust it.
That's right.
And that is heartbreaking. If we lose all that, what would Tahltan Nation be without our traditional food?
These mining projects sit upstream of some of the last intact wild salmon rivers left in the world. And when something goes wrong upstream, it will be felt downriver by us all.
All the creek in here, like Jackson Creek, Coyote Creek, Bedford Creek, they all run into the Iskood River, and Iskood River run into Stikine. That's it.
Hi guys, thanks for watching. My name is Allison.
I'm Ilsa.
And I'm Hannah.
So the Taku, the Stikine, and the Unik rivers have supported the salmon runs that we've relied on for our whole lives. And we're just one small portion of the network of communities, both upstream and downstream, that rely on these rivers. They start in northern BC, but they flow across the border into southeast Alaska, where we grew up fishing. And they are currently being endangered by proposed and existing open pit gold and copper mining operations in their headwaters.
So Sisters and Rivers is a documentary film that will follow us as we pack raft down each of these rivers, as well as explore them by foot, in a van, and in a fishing boat, in order to interview the families and individuals who are most dependent on the health of these river systems and who also stand to lose the most because of the proposed and existing mines at their headwaters.
Issues like these are complex and rarely come with easy answers. Mines can provide jobs in rural areas where employment can be scarce. Also, we all rely on the metals that come out of the ground somewhere. So our goal is to understand this issue in all its complexity while highlighting what's really at risk. And this is an important story to tell for many reasons. It's a story about the future of salmon. It's a story about clean water.
It's also a story about sovereignty of First Nations, as well as a story about family and family heritage.
It's also a story about resource extraction and what we really stand to lose as a result of intensive gold and copper mining in this region. And it's a story that we cannot tell without you, so thank you so much for watching, and thank you even more for your support. There's lots of information below, so please have a look if you have any questions, and we're really excited to bring this project to you. So thanks for watching, and thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
Thanks.